You had mentioned, and you did a prophecy about the beginning of this, but we have an honored guest with us, Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor is the man that God chose, whether Mark wanted it to or not, but God chose to give some prophetic word about Trump being president before he even threw his hat into the ring. And we want to get at the bottom of the screen is going to be Mark's website, where you can get the prophecies and print them and read them. And so far, if I'm not mistaken, 100% of them have come to pass to date. And then what I'd like to get into now is you had mentioned, and you did a prophecy about the SCOTUSes of America, the Supreme Court.
Correct.
Can you talk about that a little bit for us?
Yep, absolutely. It was "Do Not Fear America." I wrote it February 24th, 2016, and at the time, Paul the President Obama was still in office at the time, and they were doing everything they can to get one more SCOTUS appointment before he left office, because just in case he lost or Hillary lost, and so everybody was panicking at the time. And the Lord had told me, He says, Trump's going to get 5 appointments. He originally told me 3. And then he came back later on, months later, and said, no, now it's going to be 5. Because I believe, God can change his mind, number one, it's biblical. Number 2, he gives people time to repent. And so I believe what happened here in this case, there were some judges that didn't want to repent. And so the Lord told me, he said, one's going to die, one's going to retire, and 3 would be caught in a scandal. Now, what that scandal is, I don't know. We may never know what that scandal is. They just may retire out, because you want to talk about starting a civil war, if you're not careful, remove 3 sitting judges under a scandal. That would, and one of them being RBG. When RBG goes, there's going to be some issues anyway.
Right.
So anyway, it was called "Do Not Fear America." And when I watched Scalia's funeral, the Lord spoke to me. It was a very solemn moment. They were carrying his body out of the hearse, and they were carrying him up the steps, and you heard a loud siren in the background. And so they were carrying him up. It dissipated halfway up, and it got to the top. You heard this booming train horn in the background as they were walking him in. And I'm like, got it, Lord, right there. That was it. That's all I needed to hear. All I need to see. You know what I mean? Whatever. And so, again, God speaks to us in mysterious ways. And so he said, look, this help is on the way. Was a siren. He said, the next appointed judge will come from my anointed, the Trump train, is what he told me, which is a train horn. So I wrote that prophecy, and it was talking about, why do my people fear? This has all been reserved for Donald Trump, and that he was going to be appoint 5 justices will be appointed by my new president, my anointed. I will choose 5, my anointed, to keep those alive. I will stack the court with those that I choose to send a clear message to the enemy that you lose. This is a miracle that I will perform so that my court will be reformed. And he goes on talking about the cries that I've heard from the womb. I've reached my eyes and ears like a sonic boom. The 5 I appoint, and the reform that shall take place, the great I am shall take on this case. For it is my will and my way, and all those that have prayed, that my court shall overturn Roe versus Wade. So this is what they were trying to avoid right now. And what people have to understand with the abortion issue is everyone was saying, that's why America's under judgment, because all aborted babies. No, you're wrong. The church is responsible for that, because they were responsible for stopping that. That's what people don't understand. They don't want to hear that. That's what the 501c3, the blood of those babies, are on the church's system's hands.
Exactly.
That's why I tell people you got to come out of it. So but the aborted babies. What is the aborted babies? Baal is the strong man over America. Baal is a very violent entity. It feeds off the blood of the innocent. So that's how they've been empowering their god called Moloch or Baal, whatever you want to play. That is Baal's food source right there, or the aborted babies. This is why they fight so hard. You have people out there, they want to say, well, it's a woman's right to choose, or it's women's health. It has nothing to do with that, guys. You're being duped. You're being lied to by the Democrats or whoever is telling you this. It has nothing to do with that. They want you to abort the baby because it is a sacrifice unto their god called Baal. They know it. They're just not telling you that. Now, am I saying your baby goes to hell? Absolutely not. Your baby goes right into the arms of Jesus Christ. And
Right.
God will forgive anyone who's done an abortion. He will forgive you for that.
Absolutely.
But that is the food source that they use to empower the strong man called Baal, which is why they're fighting so hard, and why that case will be overturned at some point when God reforms the court.
Right.